Hello and welcome to the channel. The Central Bank of Nigeria CBN has put a limit on cash withdrawal to 100,000 naira weekly. Amazing, right? Find out why on V Media. Subscribe, like, share, and comment. Thank you. CBN limits cash withdrawals to 100,000 naira weekly. The Central Bank of Nigeria CBN has restricted cash withdrawals from over-the-counter automated teller machines ATMs to 100,000 naira and 500,000 naira per week for individuals and corporate organizations respectively. The Apex Bank disclosed this yesterday in a circular to all deposit money banks, DMBs, and other financial institutions, OFIs, signed by the Director, Banking Supervision Department of CBN, Mr. Aruna Mustafa, adding that daily withdrawal from ATMs will now be 20,000 naira, subject to 100,000 naira per week. The CBN also directed DMBs and OFIs to load only 200 naira and lower denominations into their ATMs. However, these positions were not acceptable to mobile money operators as well as the organized bank's customers, who have now threatened to take steps to express their opposition to the new regulations. The CBN circular had stated, further to the launch of the redesigned Naira notes by President Muhammadu Buhari on Wednesday, November 23, 2022, and in line with the cashless policy of CBN, all deposit money banks and other financial institutions are hereby directed to note and comply with the following. The maximum cash withdrawal over the counter by individuals and corporate organizations per week shall henceforth be 100,000 naira and 500,000 naira respectively. Withdrawals above these limits shall attract processing fees of 5.0% and 10% respectively. Third-party checks above 50,000 naira shall not be eligible for payment over the counter, while extant limits of 10 million naira on clearing checks still subsist. The maximum cash withdrawal per week via automated teller machine shall be 100,000 naira, subject to a maximum of 20,000 naira cash withdrawal per day. Only denominations of 200 naira and below shall be loaded into the ATMs. The maximum cash withdrawal via the point of sales terminals shall be 20,000 naira daily. In compelling circumstances, not exceeding once a month, where cash withdrawals above the prescribed limits are required for legitimate purposes, such cash withdrawals shall not exceed 5 million naira and 10 million naira for individuals and corporate organizations respectively, and shall be subject to the referenced processing fees in one above, in addition to enhanced due diligence and further information requirements. Further to 6 above, you are required to obtain the following information at the minimum and upload same on the CBN portal created for the purpose. Meanwhile, the Apex Bank also, in another circular yesterday signed by the Director, Payment Systems Management Department, Mr. Musa Jimo, warned banks and acquirers to desist from the practice of deploying devices that discriminate between payment cards during banking transactions. The regulator noted that this practice was against the provisions of the Guidelines on Operations of Electronic Payment Channels in Nigeria, June 2020. It stated, CBN has observed that a number of the acceptances devices deployed by banks discriminate between payment cards. For the avoidance of doubt, all certified payment acceptance devices deployed in Nigeria are required to accept all transactions arising from any card issued by any Nigerian bank. This circular serves as a reminder of the following provisions of the Guidelines on Operations of Electronic Payment Channels in Nigeria, June 2020, Section 2.4.1.3. This serves as a notice to all banks and acquirers to desist from the practice of discrimination, as observed breaches will attract appropriate regulatory sanctions, CBN stated. Subscribe, like, share, comment, and please turn the notification bell on. Thank you. Meanwhile, the Association of Mobile Money and Bank Agents in Nigeria, AMBAN, has kicked against the CBN's cash dispensing policy, saying it will not fly, and protested that it will dampen business for mobile banking agents. Commenting on the new policy, President of Amban, Mr. Olojo Victor, said, "They want to send us out of business. We are against this. It is counterproductive. It does not represent what the CBN initially stood for in terms of financial inclusion. This is not driving us forward. It is a punishment for an average Nigerian. A bag of rice is 48,000 naira. That means if I want to go to the market, I can't take cash. How will I do the transaction? We don't have the technological infrastructure to support this policy. Nigerians have not been sensitized. There is no alternative, and you are taking out cash. You are running a cash-dominant economy as we speak. Cash still remains king whether we like it or not. Go to the average market, we still have more cash transactions than POS, and suddenly you want to seal cash without bringing alternatives and education and sensitizing Nigerians on how the alternatives work. This will not fly. It is not suitable. It is a good idea, but not at the right time." However, the President, Bank Customers Association of Nigeria, BCAN, Dr. Uju Ogunbunka, commended the CBN on the policy. He, however, noted that such policy cannot function in a country where most of its citizens are market women who cannot make use of electronic payment channels. What they are telling us is that we should use online banking more than we use cash. They are not stopping us from using the money in our accounts. What they are saying is that we should focus more on using electronic payments to do more of the transactions. But given the level of our people and even the use of mobile applications for banking transactions, it might be a big challenge. Like I was telling somebody earlier today, if I want to buy vegetables in the market, how do I transact that business without cash? It will be very difficult. We don't expect that we will be carrying phones to transfer money to market women. There are areas you can apply electronic banking and there are areas you cannot apply it. Ogubunka also said that the banking sector does not have adequate infrastructure in place to back up the CBN's policy and that such policy will dampen business this festive season. He further warned against the possibility of rising fraud through electronic payment channels and increase in failed bank transactions. This policy will result in reduced business patronage, especially for those who may not be able to use mobile banking applications. Because if I have to buy things using cash and the cash is not available and there is nothing I can do about it, it will restrict me from buying or buy on credit. That is if you have sellers who will be magnanimous to do that for you these days. It is certainly going to dampen cash-related businesses. Until we are able to get the infrastructure that will be able to give us seamless transactions and things like that. Right now, the infrastructure we have is not as much as one would expect, and that is why customers complain of failed transactions and all of that. That's the news, guys. Thanks for joining in. Bye.